This is Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Hello and welcome to December, first weekend of December for Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. Time is moving fast in our tournament, also on the calendar, and we've got a couple of teams here ready to play. They've traveled pretty far to play our game too. Let's say hello first to the Newman Central Catholic Comets. After not being able to participate the last couple of seasons, Newman Central is back, hoping to replicate early success that they've had in our tournament over the years. I'm sure, Carson, you would like to lead the team to victory. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
Hello, I'm Carson. I'm the captain, and to my right is Sam Nicewonder. Next is Michael Murray, and at the end is Kathleen.
Welcome, Newman Central, and welcome back. We're happy to have you here. We're also happy to have Ashton Franklin Center and Ethan of the enthusiastic head nod. That's what we like to see before the game even started. Welcome to the Raiders. Ashton Franklin Center, the only first-timer in this year's tournament, which is pretty exciting. We are excited to have you here. We're excited to have both of our teams here. Also means that this is another first-time matchup. These two teams have never met because AFC's never played before. Ethan's the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup, Ethan.
Thank you, Eric. I'm Ethan. To my right here, we have Zane. To my left, we have Lauren. And to my far left, we have Aiden.
Ethan and I are already on a first-name basis. This is awesome. We're off to a good start. I'm glad you're all comfortable because that's what this game's about. We're going to have some fun here. The buzz-in round is, like it says, a buzz-in. So grab those buzzers. Two most important rules. Wait for me to call your name, and then say that answer loudly and clearly. You all ready for the first question? Here it comes. What disease is caused by the varicella zoster virus, can recur in adulthood as shingles, and commonly causes, Ethan?
Chicken pox.
Yep, itchy blisters in children. Those are your first points in the history of being in our tournament. Congratulations, Ethan. You will go down in the history books. Iman Vellani plays the title character of what Disney Plus show, which is the first work in the MCU to focus on a Muslim superhero? Lauren.
Ms. Marvel.
That's right. Her idol was Captain Marvel. That's Ms. Marvel. What scientist who coined the term statistical mechanics names a quantity that is negative for spontaneous reactions, his free energy G? Carson.
Entropy.
Incorrect. AFC, you could take these points. The G represents Gibbs free energy after Josiah Willard Gibbs. What country's invading troops overthrew Haile Selassie during its conquest of Ethiopia in 1936 and formed the Axis powers with Germany and Japan? Carson.
Italy.
That is correct. A clue there of the Axis powers. We were talking about World War II. Newman Central's first points. In 1964, Dorothy Crofut Hodgkin won a Nobel Prize for using what analytic technique described by Bragg's law to study crystal structures? She won that Nobel Prize in chemistry for X-ray crystallography. We would have taken X-ray as an answer there. Esteban ultimately regrets helping overthrow Salvador Allende's government in what 1982 Isabel Allende novel about the Trueba family? Michael.
House of the Spirits.
You got it. Tough literature question there, and those points are yours. We're tied now. What author who wrote about the Tulliver siblings in The Mill on the Floss used a pen name starting with George for novels such as Middlemarch? Michael.
George Eliot.
That's right, also known as Mary Ann Evans. That was the pen name, was George Eliot. Newman Central's now on top, 3 in a row for you. In Greek myth, Oedipus defeated what monster with the head of a human and the body of a lion by answering her riddle? Aiden.
The Minotaur.
Incorrect. Newman Central, you could take these points. Carson.
Sphinx.
You got it, right before the buzzer, yes. What author of the 1909 book Hind Swaraj led a group to Dundee during the 1930 Salt March and was a nonviolent advocate for Indian independence? Aiden.
Gandhi.
That is correct, Mahatma Gandhi. Ray Bradbury's stories The Long Rain and All Summer in a Day are set on what planet whose surface was mapped in the 1990s by the Magellan probe? Sam.
Mars.
Incorrect. AFC. This will tie it. Ethan.
Venus.
Yes, you got it. Venus. And now we have a tie game. What architect who designed Doha's Museum of Islamic Art and Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame included 673 glass panels in his Louvre pyramid? We end on that architecture question with no answer. That was I.M. Pei. And we're tied. We might as well be 0-0. We're back to where we started, but it's always an exciting game. Our contestants would like to have a little more cushion in their scores, but it's fun to watch when we're tied. 40-40 right now, 3 more rounds to play. Volleyball is next. Oh man, what a good game. And both of our teams played a solid first round. We've got 3 more rounds to play. Volleyball is right now. Before we get to that, quick thank you to our judge today, Dave Costello, who's the marketing manager for the Rockford Ice Hogs, and also one of the best trivia players I know. So it's good to have you keeping an eye on things for us today. Dave, contestants, this round is a conferring round, so work as a team. We encourage that, but the answer has to come from the captains. Because of our coin flip this week, Carson, you and Newman Central get the first question. Are you ready for your first volleyball? Yep. Here we go. What musical, whose characters include Lazar Wolf and the matchmaker Yenta, includes the song Tradition, which is sung by Jewish milk band Tevye? I think Michael had it, but it was hard to get that message to you. Did you say Fiddler on the Roof? That was it. But the buzzer got you there, so no points, and we're going to give Ashton Franklin Center a brand new question. Here's your first one of the round, Ethan. The nightlife destination of Ibiza is part of what Mediterranean archipelago whose largest islands are Majorca and Menorca?
Greece.
Incorrect. You got an answer there right at the buzzer, but incorrect. The Balearic Islands. Back to Newman Central. What author wrote about a troublemaking dog named Ribsy, whose young owner, Henry Huggins, lives in Portland, Oregon, near Beezus and Ramona Quimby? That author is Beverly Cleary. Back to AFC. In what state did Americans occupy Sonoma and proclaim the Bear Flag Republic in 1846?
California.
That's right. Bear Flag Revolt was a rebellion against the Mexican government, and AFC gets the first points of the game. Our tie is now broken. We're back to Newman Central. What scientist whose namesake constant is about 6.626 times 10 to the negative 34 joule seconds derived a law for black body radiation using the quantum hypothesis?
Hawking?
Incorrect, but it is worth a guess. Planck. Max Planck or Planck, well, it's Planck's constant. Back to AFC. What world leader who is engaged to TV host Clark Gayford responded to 2 2019 mosque shootings in Christchurch as Prime Minister of New Zealand?
Jacinda Ardern.
You got it. Right at the buzzer there. Jacinda Ardern. Back to Newman. What country's soldiers perpetrated the Parsley Massacre on orders from dictator Rafael Trujillo to exterminate migrants from neighboring Haiti?
Cuba?
Incorrect. Dominican Republic. AFC. What quantity equals the charge in a system's mechanical energy is produced at a rate known as power and equals force times parallel displacement?
Force.
Incorrect. Work. Back to Newman Central. What king entertained the satyr Silenus for 10 nights, after which Dionysus granted him the ability to touch objects and turn them to gold?
King Midas?
You got it. In case you ever wondered about King Midas' origin story, there it is. Newman Central gets those points, and that's how we end the round. So the tie is broken, but it's only one question between our teams now. AFC's on top with 60. Newman Central has 50. We'll be back with more gameplay in just a bit, but first, you get to play at home with the Bergstrom bonus question. We'll be back with that answer.
Purchased For less than $2 in 1978, the iconic mask in the original Halloween movie was actually a mask of which Star Trek actor?
We have another tight game going here. It's only 10 points between Ashton Franklin Center and Newman Central Catholic. Before we change those scores, how about some pizza from Lino's? That's what's on the line with our Bergstrom bonus question. If you're watching at home, you already saw this. Our contestants have not. Hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer to this. Purchased for less than $2 in 1978, the iconic mask in the original Halloween movie was actually a mask of which star? Lauren.
Captain Kirk.
I can't take that. I'm going to finish for Newman Central. Which Star Trek actor? Carson.
Chris Pine.
Incorrect. So you Captain Kirk was the character. Chris Pine was the modern Captain Kirk. The original Captain Kirk, William Shatner. And it's actually true. That mask was the basis for, so if you watch that recent Halloween movie that just came out with Jamie Lee Curtis, next time you look at that mask, picture William Shatner, equally as scary. We'll have a Nika IBEW lightning round that begins right after this and change these scores dramatically. We'll see you in a couple minutes. We're all still creeped out about the William Shatner question, the Halloween mask. Nika IBEW lightning round is the fastest round in the game, kind of why we call it the lightning round. There's 3 categories available, contestants, and the team that's going first because of the coin flip gets to pick from these first 3. By the way, we have a really tight score here. It's only one question between us. Things could change very dramatically in this round. Because of the flip, Ethan, you and AFC get first pick. So the 3 categories are halogens, ancient Greek cities, or Smiths.
Ancient Greek cities.
Wow. All right. Sorry, that one surprised us. Maybe you have a history buff or a history expert on your team. You're going to blow us away. Who knows? In ancient Greek civilization, what city, which may or may not be within Greece's modern borders, was the home of? So I will complete that sentence. All your answers are a city. I will just give the description. You have 60 seconds to go through all of these. And then, Carson, you and the team will have 30 seconds to get to what they don't. Advice for both teams, you can pass. So don't waste too much of this clock time on 1 or 2 questions. Are you ready for the first one, Ethan?
Yes.
In ancient Greek civilization, what city was the home of the Parthenon, built on the Acropolis under Pericles?
Athens.
Correct. War training in the Agoga system under 2 co-ruling kings?
Troy.
Incorrect. An elite military unit called the Sacred Band?
Sparta.
Incorrect. A statue of Helios known as its Colossus?
Rhodes.
Correct. A lighthouse and a vast library founded by Ptolemy I?
Alexandria.
Correct. The fields that hosted the Isthmian Games?
Olympus.
Incorrect. A megarun colony and namesake of a future empire that called it Constantinople?
Rome.
Incorrect. Apollo's most prestigious oracle?
Delphi.
Correct. The seat of Hieron, a tyrant who ruled the Greeks in Sicily?
Pass.
The mythical king Agamemnon and the Lion Gate? And there's no time for that answer. 1, 2, 3, 4 correct. Am I doing my math right? So you're up to 100, triple digits now. There's 6 left on the board, Carson, but only 30 seconds for them. If you're paying attention, you may be able to get through them quickly. I will read them as fast as I can. Are you ready? In ancient Greek civilization, what city was the home of an elite military unit, war training
Sparta.
in the Agoga system? Yes, that's Sparta. An elite military unit called the Sacred Band?
Pass.
The fields that hosted the Isthmian Games?
Pass.
A mega-run colony and namesake of a future empire that called it Constantinople?
Constantine.
Incorrect. The seat of Hieron, a tyrant who ruled the Greeks in Sicily? No time to get to those. Well, there's a lot, and the questions sometimes are long. I know I kind of was slow on that first read there, but Those were tough. The ones that were left were tough. You added 10 to your score. You're up to 60. Here are the ones that no one got. The military unit called the Sacred Band, that was in Thebes. The fields that hosted the Isthmian Games are in Corinth. The mega-run colony, namesake of a future empire that called it Constantinople, that was Byzantium, which would be the future Byzantine Empire, was what was referenced there. The seat of Heron, the tyrant who ruled the Greeks in Sicily, was in Syracuse. And we heard this, but never got an answer from either team. The mythical king Agamemnon and the Lion Gate were in Mycenae. So there's 2 categories left, and Carson, you can pick from halogens or Smiths. All right, we'll leave Smiths on the table. Give these answers related to the halogens. So if you know the periodic table, this may help. Same rules apply to both teams. 60 seconds are on the clock, Carson, for you and Newman Central. Are you ready for the first one? Give these answers related to halogens. A 2-atom molecule, like all the stable halogens.
Pass.
Third halogen, which is a reddish liquid at STP.
Pass.
Halogens have this many valence electrons, 1 less than a filled
7.
shell. Say that again.
7.
Correct. Fluorine-containing nonstick polymer, also called PTFE.
Pass.
Going directly from a solid to a gas, as iodine can do.
Condensation? No.
Incorrect. HF is this kind of acid that does not fully dissociate in solution.
Pass.
Gland in the neck that requires iodine.
Pituitary?
Incorrect. Fluorine reacts with some of these group 18 elements.
Noble gases?
Correct. Energy required to remove an electron. And no time to finish that or get the answer in. 2 of them right, 20 points, you're up to 80. So there's a lot left here, but only 30 seconds, Ethan, and I will read them as fast as I can for you to try and give you as much time to answer. Are you ready for your first one? Give these answers related to halogens. A 2-atom molecule, like all the stable halogens.
Isotope.
Incorrect. Third halogen, which is a reddish liquid.
Iodine.
Incorrect. Fluorine containing nonstick polymer, also called PTFE.
Pass.
Going directly from a solid to a gas, as iodine can do.
Sublimation.
That is correct. HF is this kind of acid that does not fully dissociate in solution.
Hydrochloric.
Incorrect. Gland in the neck that requires iodine.
Thyroid.
That's correct. Energy required to remove an electron, I got buzzed at the same point in that question, right? Let's go to the no answers. You got 1 more or so, or 2 more, so you're up to 120. The 2-atom molecule is diatomic. The third halogen, reddish liquid at STP, standard temperature and pressure, is bromine. The fluorine-containing nonstick polymer called PTFE is known as Teflon. HF is a weak acid. That's the one that does not fully dissociate in solution. The one that we heard but never got an answer for, energy required to move an electron, which is high for halogens, is the first ionization energy. And we didn't get to the newest halogen, named after a state, that is Tennessee. We have a little bit wider gap in our scores right now. 120 for Ashton Franklin Center. Newman Central has 80. We'll see how these scores change next in our final challenge, where each question is worth 20 points. We'll be right back. Our game is still pretty tight. Ashton Franklin Center widened the gap a little bit in that round. They have 120. Newman Central has 80, but each of these questions is worth 20 points. So do the simple math, and basically 2 questions separate our teams right now. In our final challenge, the rules are the same as round 1, except for that point change, 20 points a question. 2 most important rules again, especially in a close game. Wait for me to call your name before you answer, and say that answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck, teams. Here we go. A monochromatic green radiation source is used to define what SI base unit of luminous intensity? Carson.
Luster.
Incorrect. AFC. Go ahead, Ethan.
Lumens.
Incorrect. Close. Candela. What organization, whose first president was Samuel Gompers, was a group of unions that split from the Knights of Labor and later merged with the CIO? It's the American Federation of Labor. It's the AFL part of AFL-CIO. Jack Worthing uses the title alias while living a double life in London in what comedic play by Oscar Wilde? That play is The Importance of Being Earnest. What function, which is extended to complex numbers by the gamma function, is used to calculate permutations and is denoted with an exclamation mark? Sam.
Factorial.
That is right, and you've got the first points of the round. You're in triple digits now. In what state was the head of ERCOT, which operates its electrical grid, fired in 2021 after the state suffered massive power outages? Sam.
California.
Incorrect. AFC, you can take these points. Go ahead, Ethan.
Texas.
That is right, because of that rare winter storm in that state. What Asian country's native arts include the cloth-dyeing batik and the percussion-heavy ensembles called gamelans, which both developed on Java? Michael.
Japan.
Incorrect. AFC, these points could be yours. Zane.
China.
Incorrect. Indonesia. The period from roughly 3300 BC to 1200 BC is named for what alloy of copper and tin that is conveniently used for third place?
Bronze.
That is correct. Third place medals. In 1932, what army of World War I veterans converged on Washington, D.C. to demand immediate cash payments from Congress? That was the bonus army. What material that forms on the anther of a stamen is a powdery substance that can cause allergic reactions? Zane.
Pollen.
That's right, and contains the male gametes of a plant. What title character of a play by Edmond Rostand is afraid to profess his love for Roxanne due to anxiety over his large nose? Ethan.
Pinocchio.
Incorrect. Newman Central, you could take these points and get within 2 or get within 20. That character was Cyrano de Bergerac. What Swedish chemist developed a namesake equation that relates reaction rate to activation energy and defined bases as hydroxide donors? That was Svante August Arrhenius, and that long buzzer means we are out of time. So we end this round, actually how we began the round, with a 40-point swing. And Ashton Franklin Center, congratulations, your first appearance in our tournament, and you are moving on to the second round. Nice work. You will face, yes, you will face Belvedere in round 2. And Newman Central, we mentioned at the beginning of the show that you've taken a couple of years off. We're so glad that you're back. We hope you had a good time. How many of you are seniors? All 4 of you. Okay, so your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to recruit a team to come back and play next season in our tournament. Will do. Can I count on you? All right, Carson. Carson says, "Well do." That's good, or "will do." That's good enough for me. And like I mentioned, Ashton Franklin Center will move on and play Belvedere in round 2. We hope you will join us next week when Keith takes on Polo. We'll see you then.